Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Bucket.
So
What up? Last one of the year.
I know.
Yep.
I
Last one
know.
of the year.
Yep.
So everyone who is watching this one, if you've missed any episodes this year, binge because we're not going to be here for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, you have
Or
several
you could binge
episodes.
from the beginning if you go back to Podbean. You
Whoa.
can just start all the way from the beginning and go. It's like 5 years worth of material. You're welcome.
It would take you
Enjoy
about
that.
a year to go through all of them.
Nah, you
I
probably
say a month.
no.
How many episodes are we on? Is this all of the 241 episodes? Is that all of them?
Yes.
Okay.
So it'd probably be like 260 hours worth of content.
Yes. So it'd take you 2 weeks. Like almost 2 weeks of
Of
straight
solid
listening.
Listen to
Yeah,
us in
like-
your sleep.
So take a month because you're gonna have to sleep, right?
No,
No,
sleep.
you
You
just
listen
listen
to
while
us
you're
while you
asleep
sleep.
and absorb us so that eventually, it's propaganda.
I don't know if I want to be absorbed. Just saying.
I don't know, maybe then somebody would finally agree with you. Oh!
Oh,
Ouch.
damn.
Shots fired. Savage as fuck.
Or disagree and just kick him out of the system.
There you go.
I mean, we could feed him to Majin Buu, and if Buu keeps him, then okay. If not, then...
This is how the
He'll
whole
just
show
go.
is going to be today, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, get all the shots in now.
Mm-hmm.
We know what everybody's New Year resolution is going to be. Be nicer to Oak. No. You're
No.
Really not.
No.
You're never gonna do
No.
that one.
I don't do ones that are impossible. Oh, damn.
Wow.
Where's my green wig? At least Baka has to listen to me.
Oh, man. What's everybody been playing this week? What games everybody been playing? Oh, got it. I got
Watching
it.
you. Watching you.
Oh, we're there.
So Smash Brothers.
How
I
is it?
knew he was going to say that.
How is it? You're enjoying it? Because I'm getting it.
I am, but I fucking hate Yoshi.
We know
Are you
that
sure
about
about
you.
that?
Hold on.
Okay.
When do you
There-
not
there-
hate
and-
Yoshi?
There's a list where you can go through in classic mode with the beginning characters and go through and unlock all the other ones. And I really wanted to play with Ridley and Ryu, and went through what was going through with Yoshi, because I already had Marth and the other ones unlocked. So from playing the story mode, so it skipped right to Ryu, and I couldn't get him because I fucking hate playing Yoshi.
But you should be good at it because you know all of the
So are
crappy
you gonna
things
be-
that
are
make
you-
you hate him.
So you're gonna have to do like Griff does with scary games and hand the controller over to Chicken. You just need somebody to hand the controller
No,
over while you
no,
know
no.
things going on.
Now that I have, I have Marth and them unlocked, so apparently I can use them now to continue the chain, so I can just go through with them. But yeah, I was going through the first time with Yoshi, and I was like, motherfucker, I missed out on getting Ryu because of him. Ganondorf, I screwed that up on my own because I was trying to show off too much and I fucked up. But
Who
You
are you
show
showing
off.
off to?
Yeah.
my nephew.
Oh.
Oh, Mr. Big Britches got a little too big.
You know. But I'm trying to go through and unlock the Belmonts right now,
Yay.
because I want to try them out. Ridley is, I don't know, he's kind of different, but I don't know, I'll have to play with him a little bit more. I only played a few rounds with him. He's got one ability where he dashes at them, and if you're not careful, you can send yourself flying off the map.
Oh, boy.
That's
Sounds
a
like
bad
fun.
thing. That's
But
something
it's-
I would
It's
do.
really strong.
Yes.
I can't play these games. Of all the fighter games that I enjoy just because they're button smashy thingies, I gotta say Super Smash is probably my least favorite because it's harder to just button smash in that game.
It's not too
You
bad.
can, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not as gratifying as something like Soul Calibur or Mortal Kombat.
so Soul Calibur's not really button smashing.
It is for me. You gotta
It
play it my
can
way,
be.
man.
Mortal Kombat can be button smashing. Injustice
But
is button
Mortal
smashing,
Kombat
too.
is button smashing. Like there are combos and stuff that you can do, but for the most part, it is mainly button mashing.
That's how I play all fighting games.
That-
I know
that's how
it's
that
wrong,
series has always been.
but that's how I play all of them.
It's to each their own.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody gets to play the game the way they want. They might
Yeah.
always win, but they can play the game however they want.
Exactly.
Yes.
Whatever
Yes.
makes me happy.
That's right.
I've been playing Red Dead. I'm still not
You
finished
don't
with it.
say.
I'm still not
Who's
finished.
surprised?
I'm in the second half of the epilogue finally.
The epilogue, by the way, is as long as the game.
It feels that way. It definitely can be, I guess. Depending on how much you want to just run around and do instead of going straight through the stories. But, I mean, it's been very enjoyable. And one thing I found out today, because I'm constantly learning things about this game. One thing I found out today is I went to do a bounty thing that's part of the story mission. And I wanted to bring the guy in alive. And I roped him. But I sent the rope, like, around the tree and jumped off my horse on the other side of it. And it was just a little skinny tree. So in a lot of games, it would just clip the rope through the tree as you're pulling him in because you're already in the process. Oh, no, I started pulling him in and he started going past me because he was pulling him around the damn tree.
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
wait, come back. I'm just ever impressed. With
I was
little
over at a
things.
friend's house last night for a Christmas party, and his daughter was playing Red Dead. And they had this they have the Xbox One X, nice 4K television. I'm sitting there watching. I was like, okay, this game's beautiful. I'm going to buy it anyway, but oh my God, it's gorgeous. And so she goes out to hunt ducks. She gets done with hunting the ducks, and later on, she's trying to shoot a snake, and I'm like talking shit to her and like would make that better. And she's like, what? And I was like, learning to aim, like giving her a hard time like that. But then she goes, well, watch this. Duck is flying across the air. She shoots the duck, one shot. Not kidding. It just stays in the air and just stops.
That's weird.
It's just dead. And then she's like, but that's my duck. And about 30 seconds later, it just goes, it just falls straight down.
I've never seen that. I've not seen that happen.
I was like, I've never seen that before ever in a game, but that was hilarious. This is awesome.
I've not seen as many like bugs as I expected to see. I saw one earlier today actually. I was riding through a town and I saw there was like a set of barrels stacked on a cart out that was next to the wall of a store, and I saw an NPC pop, like he was in a seated position, he popped out of the wall of the store and onto one of the crates and then stood up and stumbled because you're not supposed to be standing on them, and he was standing like in the where two of them meet kind of, and so he stumbled because it applied the physics to him after it had like thrown him out of the wall, and then he fell off the cart because he couldn't stand up. I was like, oh man, you poor guy.
It was funny though because she's at the camp, I guess is what it's called, wherever your little areas with your people. And she goes over to cut wood, and her dad comes downstairs and he goes, "Are you doing chores?"
Yes.
And she goes, "Yes, it raises my honor up." He said, "So if I gave you honor here at the house in some way, would you do more chores?"
It's called money. I'll give you money for chores. That's working.
Money
Whatever.
doesn't work with her. Money doesn't work with her. So
We'll give you little gold
I
stars.
found them relaxing in a lot of cases because they're optional. You don't have to, but it's like,
He
oh my
goes-
god, I just saw all of these people die, and I went, and all these things went bad, and I'm just gonna spend the morning chopping firewood and moving like the horse feed out to the horses. That's what I'm gonna do.
yeah,
today.
that was the other thing. She moved some hay over or
Yep.
whatever, and he goes, "Are you moving hay now?" And she goes, "Yes." And he goes, "This game is so boring. Why are you doing? Don't
It's only
shoot
like
things."
it's whatever you want to do, and sometimes that's a nice like the mundane things, or sometimes a reprieve from all of the really crazy stuff that you have to deal with during the actual story and whatnot. So
guess.
sometimes I was like, I just want to relax.
When she first turned on, she was rat hunting or something. I don't know. There was some building she had to go into and kill rats. So she was.
I've never
It was
done that.
nice.
I don't know what that is. I must
There's a
be maybe
shopkeeper.
one of
She
the
stopped at a shopkeeper, and the
rats.
shopkeeper said, "Come kill my rats." So I don't
Come
know.
kill my rats.
Okay, I've not run into that shopkeeper.
It's
Or maybe they just have a rat
It's
problem.
in whatever there's a lot of mud in whatever city she was.
It's probably
in, so.
Valentine. I've been in all of their shops.
No, it's Dennis. Is there one? Dennis.
Saint Denis.
Denise. Yeah, that's it.
Saint Denis.
Yeah, man.
Didn't he?
There's not really a whole
was
lot of mud in that city though.
Maybe compared to other cities, but to somebody that's a layman looking at it, I'm gonna say it looked muddy to me.
Well, Saint Denis is essentially like New Orleans-esque, old school.
Yeah, that was very New Orleans-esque.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
weird.
because there's a lot of swamps. She went and killed an alligator or something at some point.
No thanks. I hate the alligators.
So she hit
Anyway.
it with a hatchet. So
Yeah, no thanks. What about you guys? What have you been playing? The other two of you?
I have played a little bit of Return of the Obra Dinn. Played Pokemon. I'm nearly done.
I am
done with
not
Pokemon.
nearly done. I'm still.
Nearly done with Pokemon. I've got all the gyms taken care of. Went ahead and went to all the little guards in order to be able to tell them, hey, I need to be able to make my way through this so I don't have to stop at each one of them. It's annoying. So I'm close. I just want to build up all of my Pokemon that I can. So I'm going through and farming now. And then Sea of Thieves, of course. And I am happy to announce that Friday night I hit Pirate Legend.
Yay!
Yay!
So-
I would clap, but it would be too loud and I'd get in trouble.
2 hours later, No Pants hit Pirate Legend.
Nice.
And the third person ownership, which is Alyssa, she got screwed out of her mission. So we weren't able to hit Pirate Legend with her that night. So we did a special stream yesterday afternoon and got her to Pirate Legend. So in a 24-hour period, all 3 people on my ship hit Pirate Legend.
Hell yeah!
So-
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It was
It's
fun.
quite
I will tell everybody now, go play Pirate. If you want to get your levels up quickly, go do it now, because what they have done is if you go to Duke in the tavern, you get a choice on what kind of mission you want to run. So Gold Hoarders, Order Souls, or Merchant. But the payoff is amazing. So, like, if you do the Gold Hoarders one, every single map you have, it'll give you 8 maps. Every single map you have, everything you pick up is going to be a captain's chest. If you go do the Order of Souls one, every one of them is a villainous. And there's 4 skeletons on every single one of the islands that you're going to. So it builds you up really, really fast. And then the Merchant one's a cargo run that's worth a lot. And it's a lot of silks and shit you got to take. But it's pretty awesome. I mean, really, really awesome. So I would recommend doing it now. And if people are already Pirate Legends, then they have a Pirate Legend Athena one. And that's how we got built up quickly, is because we went in and we did, we had at one point 4 people in an alliance, 2 of which were running Athena runs from the festival thing. And we were running the Order of Souls ones to build up our Order of Soul quickly. And the Athena one pays out 3 Athena chests. So we had one set of people that did 2 Athena runs in the time that we were in the alliance, and one that did 1. So we had 9 Athena chests that ended up being turned in, plus all the stuff that comes along with that, which were villainous chests, captain's chests, and all that stuff. And it just helped build us up real quick. So highly recommend working together for one, and just go ahead and put the alliance thing up and make sure that you get the opportunity to do it. But if you want to build up, now's the time to do it. Pretty awesome. But that's the main thing I played.
What about you, Chicken?
This week I've been hitting Call of Duty hard. I'm looking for my first fucking win. I can't tell you how many goddamn times I've gotten second place only to lose to the last
Oh,
dude.
in the Battle Royale one?
Blackout?
Blackout.
Okay.
I've just been playing Blackout. I'm getting so much better because I have 2 houses. There's 2 houses that I land at all the time. I call them my houses. They are my house. I land there all the time. Like, I'll land close to it, get in a car, and go straight towards them. They are my houses.
Are they the mansions, or are they like...
They're just 2 regular houses.
Okay.
They're towards the north part of the map. One's a small house.
Now
and
everybody's
going
going to be looking for you. Great.
I'm always there. I've killed so many people that have landed there with me. Like, I will land and I will find a gun and I will go to the next house and hunt that son of a bitch. Either I will kill him and take my houses back, or he'll kill me and he gets the area. But I fight him all the time. Like, I'm playing that game much more aggressively. But I got to the second to last, and I checked the single story house, then went back outside. The dude out in the field shot me, and eventually he died. And the circle started moving in, and as I come in between the 2 houses, the farthest window on the right side, I saw movement, because I already checked this house, but apparently he was, what we call them, is building camping bitches. I saw him out of the corner of my eye, and I turned to shoot him. I hit him twice, and he gets me, and I lose, because I didn't realize he was the last guy, so I wasn't looking for him. He killed me in my own fucking house. And I lost. Oh, I was so heartbroken on that one. I got like 4 kills that game too. Oh, my poor heart. But I've been playing the shit out of that. Like, just drop into Blackout and try to win. I've played 130 games and I haven't won a single one yet.
Look, I get that you're totally excited about that, but you gotta tell your Daisy story.
Oh God. Yes, Daisy was free this weekend, so me and Cindy decided to roll up and play some.
And both of them had a great first experience.
By the way, I'm gonna say this right now. In both of y'all's cases, I heard Daisy, not Daisy.
Sorry.
So like I'm thinking that there's a flower game.
Yes, the flower game about Daisy.
I was like, why is this important? I didn't know
Daisy,
this was a thing.
the Arma mod that got made into a game. It was fully released, by the way, so they did a free weekend. Let everybody try it. It's $45. I'm gonna wait till the Steam Winter Sale. Ooh. You know, I'm gonna watch for it, or I think it's $35. I'm gonna wait for it to drop price because it's kind of fun. The combat's a little but the game is actually pretty neat.
We got what, like 4 more days before that goes on. No, it's like the 20th, right?
Yeah, it's very soon. Yep. So we loaded in, and apparently there's no way to play with your friends. Like, you can load into the same server, and you basically have to find each other. Good luck. So you have to run to street signs. There's this big map that we have open, and we made a group so that we can kind of pinpoint each other and see where we want to meet up and whatnot. And I found a street sign, and he found his street sign, so we knew where we were at, and we're like, okay, we're going to meet up this area. He found somebody in his town. He was talking to him, and the guy was kind of showing him around and whatnot. And he's being really nice. And Snitty opens up this shed, and he's like, "Oh, cool, water bottle." And he finds a water bottle because you can refill it and whatnot. Super, super useful. And the dude is standing behind him and talks in his mic, and he's like, "I'm gonna need that from you," and he kills him. Like, Snitty just stops, like, oh my God, because he's getting hacked to death by this dude who was so nice to him just a few minutes ago. Kills him, takes his water bottle, and he dies. At this same time, I start beelining for where we said we were going to meet up. And I stop because I hear something out of my left side, and I'm like, what is that? And I look over. This is the scariest moment I've ever had in a video game. And I look over to my left. And there's this dude in like a coat with a ski mask on and a yellow fucking hat, and he stops and stares at me, and I'm like, and he's got a screwdriver in his hand, and he just runs at me and starts killing me. I'm like, no, stop! And he kills me, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
You just got like serial killered.
I did. Like, this dude comes out of a field, just stops and stares at me with a screwdriver in his hand and just doesn't say anything, just kills me. I'm like, oh my God. I don't know if I want to play this anymore.
He probably took your body and hung it up on a wall somewhere with a bunch of other ones.
Probably.
Gross.
I do like that when you log out of the game, your body disappears, so all of your stuff is safe. But nighttime, it is pitch black in that game. Like, pitch black. And also, I learned that Cindy's afraid of scare games.
Oh, way to throw him out there like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Could throw his ass out there. But we spawned up in the shed that we logged off in, and there was these crazy fucking sounds. I guess they were deer, but I'm talking like swamp monster kind of. I was like, and he's like, what the fuck is that noise? Holy shit, what is that noise? Do you want to go and find a new server and play something else? And I was like, no. So I lit the flare, and we start going out. And he's like, dude, you know we're going closer to it. Why are we going? Can we go the other way? I want to go the other way. And he was like, you just got to run into it. But then we turned around and went back the other way because the houses that we needed were the other way. But man,
listening to the
fun.
audio
So
side of that was so fun for me.
How does the game itself work? Like, I'm not familiar enough with the game to know. Like, is it like Ark and the fact that you've got your one server, you always log into that server and you're just building the world around you, or is it one of those new game? It's a new game basically every time you go in, you just end up in the same place. Or
no. You can spawn on your server, and that you can play off of that server, and that's what you got and whatnot. It's kind of like Ark on that style. The game is extremely precise. I mean, head hits. I was dying of thirst because I almost died. I found a pond, so I started drinking from it, and apparently I drank too much and got contracted something. I had a little disease icon.
Yeah, like dysentery or something. All of
Drank too much pond water. But if you get hit in the arm, you gotta heal your arm. You can bleed out and all this different shit. You can find cans of food, and you have to take your fucking little stone knife that you find to open up the cans and try to eat. Your food will go down. It's a pretty intricate game and whatnot. There's lots of diseases and things like that you can contract. We found a chicken, but we decided not to kill it because if we kill it, we got to make sure that we can cook it because you'll get salmonella and then die. If you eat human flesh, you'll contract a brain rot disease and whatnot. It's crazy.
Do you become a zombie?
I have no idea, but there are zombies in there, and Jesus, are they loud? Like, I have a little hatchet, so some of those fuckers are like, all right. And you can't hit your friends, so we're like, okay, you want this one? Okay, you go ahead and do that one, because I'm gonna stand back. I don't want you to hit me on accident and like break my arm or something.
Like accidentally start hacking away at your friends. That'd be so fun.
I almost died due to starvation. Like, we were running through buildings looking for something to eat, and I found a can of spaghetti. And it's just like,
yes,
open it, eat it as fast as I can.
Chef Boyardee, thank you.
Pretty much. He found the water bottle. We found some pretty good stuff. We found rice and things like that. You can cook, put it mix, because you can combine things like a thing of water and some rice.
Oh, yeah,
and
it's like a survival game of any sort.
Thinking of that, I did find a cooking pot, and I wish I would have kept it, but I didn't have enough.
Well, thank God it wasn't a frying pan, or else PUBG would have sued them.
Yeah, no shit. There's also, I keep finding car doors because you can repair.
Can you
cars.
close them?
No, you can pick them up, but you can repair cars and build bases and things like that. Like car batteries, you can find them. Little engine, like little tiny batteries that you can put in cars to fix them and things like this. Yeah, I found a walkie-talkie, but it doesn't have any batteries.
What other respawn thing works on that? Like, is it a set? I mean, because I would think, like, let's say you've got, I don't know, 10 people that have built bases all over the place. That, you know, how does it respawn in the same spot, or is it just respawning somewhere else so new people, when they come in, can...
When you die, you lose your stuff that's on you, so...
Well, I know that, but I'm
what if
saying
you
you've
just
built a
logged
base.
out?
And
Does
then you
your
log
base
out.
stay there?
You're set. Your base stays there, but your body is safe.
Okay.
Like, it disappears when you're logged out.
So
But
if
all
you
your
put
stuff
all
in
your
your base
stuff
is
on
fine.
like shelves in your base, then people could just come in and take it because you're not there, and then you log back in and you have nothing, but your stuff on your body is good.
Yes, which is let people kind of get tricky with it, because they'll put stuff in a can and then put it up in trees so that, you know, people aren't normally looking up for cans and trees and things like
makes
that.
sense.
So they'll hide things from people, or they'll put it in a bag, and so on, so on, so on, like really far down the
Like
line.
little nesting dolls.
Pretty much.
I don't know. I think if I found a bag and there was a bag inside, by the time I got to the third one, I'm like, okay, there's something good in the bottom of this, and I would just keep going.
Yeah, I carried around this little wet sack forever, and I need to go back and get it. But basically, you have to have a backpack to be able to attach it to, otherwise you just carry it around like this.
You're like carrying a baby. That's funny.
You got to be careful where you put things, because you have like pockets in your jacket and your coat, or in your pants and your backpack. If you put important things on your, like, in your coat, if you get hit in that, it could damage the stuff in your pockets.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Same thing with your jeans too. Like, if you get hit in the legs, it'll damage the things in your legs, or if your backpack and things like that. So you want to try to keep the important things out of your hit radius,
Okay.
because things can get damaged.
So you just like running around with your hands out,
Running with
holding
my
all your
arms
important
out.
documents?
I got this.
Well, I put it all in my backpack, because the zombies are usually just coming for your face, so I keep the important stuff in my backpack so that they don't hit it. I'd hate to lose a can of beans or something because of a stupid fucking zombie.
I just find it interesting that they've got it set up that way. But I would troll the fuck out of somebody. I'd have like 25 bags in one bag and have nothing else in it. It's just
I
like
would be the one like 15 minutes in going, Gah! Who did this? I will murder you!
I would just have a shelf full of bags with bags in them, and one of them has something at the very end of it, and it's just like a can of beans.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Dun, dun, dun. Can you make signs and you just put the sign that says "fuck you" on the inside of it?
That would be funny.
That would be nice. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. If it goes on sale for a lot cheaper than what it is, I'll probably buy it, because it's not breaking my early access rule, because it's out of early access. So
After 5 years.
after 5 years. But yeah, Atlas, depending on how that goes, might be the game that I break my early access rule for, but we'll have to
Really?
see. I need to see it before I make that decision, because I understand I'm against early access, but this kind of game looks good. So I have to see
we'll
what
see.
it
We've
is
got
a couple of
before.
months.
We've got three
before.
more days, right?
Maybe, yeah, a couple more days.
Yeah. So I will probably end up getting it because somebody gave me money to put toward it. So we will see.
I need to see how it is. I'm gonna give it a few days and
I
watch
think that's
some
what I would tell
streams.
people that gave me money for it too. Is like, you realize that I'm gonna hold off on purchasing this. Like, if I don't purchase it, I'll give you your money back. But I'm not gonna feed into the early access. This is okay behavior until I know.
Well, that's why I don't buy early access games very often. I think Ark was like the only one, and I had a super soft spot for dinos and taming and things like that. And I got 320 hours out of it for $30. So to me, it was decent. But when they stopped doing what I supported, I stopped playing.
Well, and this is supposed to be $30 as well. So
Is it 30?
that's what supposedly that's what No Pants said.
I haven't seen anything that
No
says...
Pants is leery of it just like we are because of everything. Even though he's the big art guy,
But I
From
mean,
what
how
I
long did it take them to make Ark like mostly functionable?
from what I understand, the expansions have been very stable. It's
But the
going
main
back to the
game-
original part of the game,
Which is
If you
the
go-
really like kicking your fans in the face part of that is like our main thing is broken. It's kind of the same thing that Epic did with Fortnite. It's like the thing that we sold you for $60 is, you know, kind of lackluster and dumb. But hey, look, this free battle royale that we're making fuck tons of cash off of is amazing. We're never gonna do anything for you people that paid.
and we're gonna
$60
leave it in
still.
beta mode the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so...
I would hold off on it and just be like, look, we need to see how this is going to go before we hand them cash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I did figure out who Grapeshot is. It's like their sister company, the sister developers. And the guys, the first couple of guys that created Ark, like their baby, they're the ones who are doing Atlas. Like they got shifted off of Ark, and
That's what No Pants and I were talking about the other night because we were talking about that, and he was like, "Well, you know, I'm leery of Wildcard," and I was like, "Well, technically, this isn't Wildcard. This is just a part of the same company."
This is
So-
But you also
Original
have to be
wild
worried
card.
about the company itself doing the same thing again, which is like, thanks Grapeshot for setting the groundwork for this. You guys go off and start developing something new. These guys will take this over, and then it becomes Arc 2.0.
if I get 300 hours out of
That's
it,
what you
then
gotta
that's
see.
fine. I mean, but like I said, if I get 300
Well, and I
hours
think
out
we're
of it,
gonna.
then so be it.
What I like about it though is based on what we're reading that's on there is the fact that it does have NPCs available to help you with your ship, to help
Yes.
you build, to help you run your little group, whatever. So it's not dependent on other people the whole time, and you have PVE and PvP servers, so
Yep.
you do have that option as well. So I think I can justify putting the hours and stuff into it, but I want it. It's going to be one of those things. It might be it's released on the 19th, and I might not buy until closer to Christmas time if it's running fine.
Yeah,
At that point, so
It's going to be a lot of like watching, very intently watching it,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm super curious as to this. It's like one of those things where it's like, do you want to see what's behind the curtain? It's like, yes.
And I'm kind of like, because I'm looking at it like I don't want to put my money toward these people if it's going to be that way, but at the same time, I'm looking at it and going, as a streamer, I kind of want to stream it because it would be the big game everybody's wanting to watch at the same time.
It's like, I definitely wouldn't play on a PvP server. Ugh.
No way, no way.
People, man.
Not
people.
not after the fun of Ark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that shit was awful. So. But yeah, I've been doing that, and I've also been playing Heroes this week, which will segue into this article. Everybody knows I'm a Blizzard fanboy.
We were.
Was a Blizzard fanboy. Because I don't know if everybody listening has seen what happened.
You know, since BlizzCon, you mean?
Yeah.
Like, this has been a real fast decline.
Yeah, like Blizzard is just like, I don't know whether Activision just literally just got their hand into Blizzard and is just strangling the shit out of them. I don't
think
know
it's more
what
of
is
like
going
a
on.
puppet situation now.
Yeah, I didn't want to go that route, but you know.
Well, I think that's what's going on. Because you've still got the Blizzard face on it, but it's not Blizzard anymore.
It's not Blizzard. I'm not gonna be a Blizzard fanboy anymore after this. Like, it's gonna take so much for them to just even get me back on their ship.
He uninstalled
But,
almost all of the Blizzard games on his PC.
Yeah,
so.
I have Overwatch and Heroes that I'm playing, and Call of Duty. I know what I was
That's
getting from Activision.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, I was expecting a hot pile of garbage. That's what you get. So I mean,
Yeah,
no
but to be
surprise.
fair, with Blops though, I mean they've done a
At
really
least
good
it's
job.
fun. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy playing it. I just like to throw down and do a round of Blackout. It's fun. It's pretty much the only thing I play for that one. But also, there is a cheaper version of Blops 4 now that you can get without the zombie mode in it. So
So if
like
you just
$40
want the battle royale,
and the multiplayer.
yeah. Well, I
Then you can
imagine
just
a lot of
buy-
people playing it right now are playing specifically because battle royale is popular.
Yeah. So
I don't know. The other servers are pretty full, so
I mean, I don't think that people are not playing the multiplayer. I'm just saying I think that the battle royale is pulling in a crowd that wouldn't normally play Call of Duty.
yeah,
I
I mean,
can
I
see
like
that.
it. It's a lot of fun. But back to Blizzard. So there were rumors around what was going to happen for their professional scene for Heroes, and out of nowhere, they came out and was like, HGC is canceled for next year, and we are moving the staff to different internal projects, and support for this game is going to be minimal.
Yeah,
They-
like out of nowhere, because they had at BlizzCon they actually talked about upcoming championships and things like that, and news for heroes. They launched a new hero and showed her off at BlizzCon and everything. So it seemed like they were still 100% behind the game.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's like, well, okay, if you don't want to play the Diablo Immortal, we'll just take away your fun toys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it's a retaliation for people freaking out about Diablo, but at the same time, I don't think that it makes them feel any worse about having to cancel it.
I don't think it's a retaliation, but I do think it's a result of, which
Yes.
means their stock dropped 44%.
Yes.
Which is incredible.
44%
Well, because it
since
made
then.
everybody so upset with how they handled it, and the fact that they're not going to put out a new actual Diablo franchise, and what they are going to give you was just some garbage. It shows how little effort that Blizzard was really putting into that to start
They
with.
are going to give you a new one. They just didn't announce a new one. They stated that we are
Well, yeah,
working on Diablo
that's what I
4.
meant though. Is like the thing that you should have said, you didn't say, and instead said something entirely different that nobody wanted. So I mean, yeah.
But
the
I will
disappointment
venture
factor
to tell
is
you
huge.
now, though, because of name alone, for those people out there that aren't big Blizzard fans, haven't had the PC and everything else, for name alone, if you wanted to buy a stock, now's a good time to buy into Blizzard. Because what's going to end up happening is when Immortal comes out, their stock's going to raise. Because they are going to
Maybe because Fortnite and PUBG are now banned in China.
That's the point.
And Tencent is one of the biggest Chinese publishers, and they couldn't even do anything to stop it. Diablo Immortal is actually on the chopping block list too. So if it's banned, their huge market that they want to tap into isn't going to be allowed to be tapped into, which means this investment that they're making is literally going to fall through the floor.
But your stock market is based on region. So like right now, the 44% drop is U.S. stock. So, and you do have a large mobile game market here in the U.S., and it is a possibility that they can tap into that. But at the same time, I would venture to say it's going to raise because it's down almost 50%.
Yeah,
It can only really go one direction depending on the decisions they're making. And to be fair, I really hate it for the staff and everybody else that's working on this and the actual gamers that go out and play and are part of the competitions and everything else for HOTS. But you have to make a decision. We've said it before that HOTS was not a moneymaker necessarily, but they were willing to put the time and the money and everything into it. Where Hearthstone, that's a moneymaker because there's not a whole lot that's going into the game other than creating new cards and everything else, and people are buying the packs that go along with that, and they're just going to change their market accordingly. But what Blizzard needs to do is go back to their base and make sure they need to have a big, huge announcement like within the next month. It needs to be something massive and go, sorry we didn't give this to you in November, but here you go. You know, they need something big to give everybody. Because I thought it was a big announcement when they did switch Diablo 3. Because it did give them an option to be there, and we saw the reaction, even with a simple reaction with somebody that wasn't sure about the game, still isn't sure about the game, which was the Dragon Age sequel that's coming up. The way that it was presented and done and everything else, Griff's reaction to that would have been the same thing was a lot more positive and would have been the same for everybody at Diablo if you just give them something simple like that. So
I don't know. I feel like with the Diablo announcement and the way that they treated the HOTS thing, I don't know how much bounce back they can really do, because every year every time they release an expansion for World of Warcraft, which is their cash cow, they make less and less money on it because people like us will come back, will play for like maybe a couple months out, like the first initial month and maybe an auxiliary month to that, and then we go away again because the content gets stale, because it's more about rush to cap level, and then after that, unless you're a hardcore raider, all you can do is really dailies.
Yeah, like the subs for WoW have plummeted. Like Battle for Azeroth is not doing well.
No.
Blizzard is not doing well. The only thing they have going for them right now is Overwatch. Even Hearthstone isn't even doing that well.
Doesn't make a whole lot of money because it's a free-to-play game.
Well, there was also rumors going around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there were rumors going around that they weren't going to do professional Hearthstone next year either because it wasn't doing well.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, because it's just not doing enough.
Yeah, I mean,
and since Activision wants more money, because we've talked about it with Microsoft, they funnel the money into Microsoft and then they trickle it down to their companies. Like, the companies don't have to be profitable. As long as Microsoft keeps making money, they're going to keep investing.
Well, and also to be fair, Microsoft has other ways to make money.
Well,
when you have 80% of all machines that are out there that are PC have Windows on it, it has a way of making money.
Very true.
And they have their hands in all different types of stuff where Blizzard doesn't. Blizzard Activision period doesn't. They're gaming. That's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of the reason we see Valve getting involved in peripheral part of it. Getting involved with the VR and all that other stuff is they're figuring it out. Well, Windows has that option as well. I mean, Microsoft is looking at different ways of doing VR and all that. Their new controller that they came out for people that might not be able to play video games in the traditional way, they've got that adaptive controller that they just came out with, which is amazing, giving new life to people to be able to play the games. They're finding new ways to make money where the only way these companies have been making money is off video games itself. And maybe that's something that they need to explore. I mean, it goes back to, who's how far into the gaming industry do you want to get? Do you want to exclusively just do games, or do you want to create something new? Valve made money because they created Steam.
Yeah. I mean,
but they're still adapting.
It just sucks for a lot of the people. Like, I completely agree. I think Bernie Burns from Rooster Teeth is the first person I ever really heard talk about this. But if you want to be successful in an industry, make sure that your success is not tethered to something you don't control. And what really sucks about this situation is that all of the HOTS esports, like anything in esports for them, all of their casters, their analysts, their players, their coaches, their team managers are now without jobs, which really sucks. Before Christmas, and they weren't told. Some of them found out on stream while they were streaming. Like, the announcement came out and somebody in their chat was like, "Hey man, I just saw this pop up on Twitter. Did you know about this?" And that's how they found out that they just essentially got fired right before Christmas.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I read a couple of them. Like, this guy has been working fucking 3 years to make it into the professional scene for HOTS. And he finally did it after all this time, working so hard. He was so stoked to start next year as a starter on a professional team. And then all of that work just gone. Like, he finds out, like, hey, you don't have a job next year. And he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I mean, I've put so much fucking time into this. I just have to. Like, all like, the professionals are just leaving the game entirely. Because, I mean, it's almost like in disgust. That was what I was going to
touch on next is Blizzard doesn't know how to handle PR at this point because they're doing it completely wrong. That was one of the biggest mistakes they could have made, coupled with what they did with Diablo, is because they cut the legs out from under people that didn't see it coming. And so because of that, the entire community, so people that aren't HOTS pros but watched and followed the games, are uninstalling and will never pay for another microtransaction or anything. And a lot of them are going so far as to do it with all Blizzard games. Like, oh, I used to play Hearthstone too, but I'm not doing that anymore. And it's like, Blizzard, why are you shooting yourself in your foot?
And the way that you handle that is say we might not have the championship this next year, but we're still going to have our season as planned. And that way it gives the people the jobs, build it up, and then you make it, when you have your championship 2 years from then, it's massive, it's huge, you do everything else, but you got to have people that aspire to do something, and you have to have people for an example of that. And that's what, to me, that's what esports does to those of us that are gamers that might want to do that, is we watch them play and go, shit, I never thought of doing that before. That's a good way to play and change our own play. Now you have no examples, nothing there, and that also works as advertisement for you.
Yep.
from a marketing standpoint,
I mean,
and now you fucked all advertising.
Yeah, well, you've done the opposite. You have people now actively advertising and campaigning for other people to completely remove your games from their systems. And it's not just the one game that you shut down or are planning to let go until it just dies on its own. You pretty much actively killed that, and now you're going to see that, like, it's just going to deteriorate the rest of it. You've put rot in your system, and now it's going to just spread.
Well,
So,
you had people when they did the Diablo thing. You had people that came out, and one of the comments that I remember on Twitter was, "They're worse than EA now." I did not believe it at that point.
until now.
I do now.
I think the biggest mistake they did was removing Mike Morhaime as president.
But
And
it's because Mike
I
Morhaime
feel like
gave a
he
damn
got
about the games and not the money.
I
They
feel like
wanted
he got
somebody in
pushed out
place.
by Activision. I still stand by that. That guy was the last bastion standing against Activision.
This is all really shitty news, and this is our end of the year show. So I think we're just gonna break
Cut
it
it.
right there. Just break it and we'll talk about the one positive piece of news that we saw, and then we're gonna talk about all of our year-end games because we're already 40 minutes in, and we're not gonna spend all of this time being sad and angry. I will not
It's
allow
not
this.
sad and angry. It's
I am
passionate.
angry. Yeah, and I get that, but it's a negative kind of passion. It's
I
a
guess
passion
that's
about something that sucks. So we're gonna talk about some great stuff and have a good time for the next 20 to 30 minutes. Okay,
Fair enough.
everybody, put on your happy faces.
Put on your happy face. You got paint?
All right, fine. If you guys have to try that hard for your happy faces, I'm just sad for you all. Oh my god!
Don't put on your sad face. Be happy face. Well, I guess the one other piece of news, I guess, that we got, Monster Hunter revealed its first big expansion.
Yeah, which is apparently super amazing for people that very much enjoy Monster Hunter.
Yes. It's adding a new hero, or it's adding a new character, and that character is our resident Monster Hunter, the one and only legendary guy, Geralt.
Yay! Cheers
Now all of those-
everywhere.
Now all of those people that were so unique with their name and named their characters Geralt, get out, because the real one's coming in.
Oh, that's funny. Did people do that? Because they're like,
Oh,
I'm
hell
clever.
yeah.
I'm a
'Cause they were the Monster Hunter,
I
yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So all of you, get out. The real
Time
one's
to find
here.
that name change option.
Yep. We're
Which
gonna
there
go ahead and
probably
need one of those. So yeah, I still haven't gotten Monster Hunter World. I want to play it so bad, but I just do not have the time. The dedicated.
I've got it. I've literally gone to the tutorial.
Especially
and
if you're
it's just
going to play Atlas. That'll be another sync.
Yeah, I know. That's why I have to get ready for games like Atlas. I have to be ready to sink into it because you can't just play it, skim the surface. You gotta get in it. You gotta mess around.
Okay, wait. So I just realized that they said that the subtitle of this, because I was looking for a date on it, is next autumn. So they announced it oh no, Monster Hunter, everybody, you have to wait almost a year.
Yeah, but it's after Geralt comes to the base game.
Okay, that's true, but still.
So Geralt's coming first, and their big expansion, Iceborne, is coming next autumn.
The funny
no.
part about this is they waited to do this after the PC version of the games come out,
Well, that's true, because you
Which
don't
was
start
super
announcing
awesome.
which was like
auxiliary.
8 months later.
Which, by the way, I will give them bonus points for, because it's a really nice thing that you did not start announcing extra content before a section of your audience could even play the game.
Yes,
Because
I
some
love
people
that.
were specifically waiting for the PC launch, and that's definitely some brownie points.
Hell yeah. I mean, because they had to rebuild their entire matchmaking system specifically for PC. So they're like, okay, we're going to work on this, get this all set up. Okay, both systems are running really well. All right, now let's continue the support for the game. Everybody's in the race. Let's go. So it's like, hell yeah, good shit.
Build it
So.
totally.
Brownie points.
Yep. All right. So now we do. Is that all we want to cover on those, or do you want to cover any of the other two?
That's up to you. I segued into those.
I think you can do them pretty quick. Which is the it looks like Curse, which was bought originally by Twitch, which is basically their version of Discord, if you will, is being sold, and it's going to be
Which is also
interesting.
the mod manager for things like
lot
World
of
of Warcraft
games.
and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so it's a
It's-
mod manager too.
It's being sold to fandom. Not what we said before.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that ends up transitioning over, and be something interesting for the first of the year to see how that ends up moving over, and then also how the Twitch client actually changes too.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have to like rip that whole entire mod management thing out of the game.
You know, to be honest, that is the only, like, the mod manager part of it for World of Warcraft is the only reason I still had Twitch installed. But now, I mean, I don't need that either, so.
Yeah, because I just use the regular website if I'm watching like Chicken or anybody.
Yeah, no
else.
shit. I mean, I don't go to that fucking
I don't do anything
thing.
through that launcher. It takes up. It's a resource hog. Like Google Chrome is a resource hog. That app is worse. Like the Twitch app, you have to be running literally nothing else just about for some computers.
It might be better now, but
maybe. But when we were trying to use it, oh my god,
thing was too heavy.
Yeah.
It's like.
The other thing, real quick, most of us, we were talking about this ahead of time. Most of us have a lot of clients currently on our PCs. Of course, the main one being Steam. We've had for a while. Epic released theirs last week during the Game Awards, and really undercut Steam in a lot of ways and what they were doing, and created have some
their developer price. I mean, basically the price cut or profit
they
cut.
get 88%.
There's a lot of it. There's a lot of exclusives and stuff that are there, and then it now looks like Discord is going along those same lines and coming in underneath that.
By 2%.
By 2%, but hey, it's there.
Hey, but at the same time, I am more likely to constantly have my Discord app open than I am my Epic app, which I don't even know if it's installed right now.
See, if you're Epic, that's who. If you're Epic, you would have bought fucking. You would have bought the Curse and just slammed it over, and then you would have that option. It is interesting to see how these companies are changing their clients and things like that. Like the chat system recently changed on Steam a few months ago to become a little bit, it's supposed to be a little bit more modern-esque, more like Discord, but I still don't use it for that. I still use Discord to talk to everybody. So it's interesting to see this. They also are going to have exclusives that'll be 90-day exclusives on certain games as they come out. So that's really, really, really going to be interesting to see how that all works out. But another thing for the new year, are people going to end up moving over? Most of us, I think, are going to stick with Steam, but let's see, because it is such a juggernaut. But we'll see.
I hope Steam changes its ways, and like we've said before, competition only lets us win.
That's
so hopefully Steam is
Glenn, it looks like the developers are going to win too out of this.
I also think that, because one of the things that you had linked that we were reading about was talking about how a lot of the platforms, the distributors, didn't justify earning that 30% of the profit, and Steam is one that I feel that way about. It used to be, but now Steam is essentially the Walmart of the distributor platforms, because it will let literally any garbage be on its shelves. It has no curation, and I don't think it's worth 30% of my profit for my really good game to have to sit on the same shelf next to some asset flip piece of garbage.
Yeah. And I am going to be interested too, because like with Epic, Epic is just like Valve, who owns Steam, which is they are a developer. So they can keep everything exclusive that's their product on their actual shelf.
It's like what Bethesda's doing for their Fallout 76.
And Bethesda's doing the same thing. Well, with
that's so irritating.
Good thing nobody wants 76 though.
Right.
But with Discord, you're dealing with an app that we're using for communication, and they're creating it as a game client. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that ends up changing as well. And I want to see how I haven't played with it enough to know. But like games that I get on Humble Bundle or anything like that, I get Steam keys or whatever to put on Steam.
Will we get an option for Discord?
Will we get an option for Discord or something like that to move over? So it'll be quite interesting to see.
The one thing I will say though about Steam is that they take that 30% and they kind of invest it into the building technology, like the Vive and whatnot. Like they're actually building VR, and because Epic is going to invest it into their games, and Discord's going to invest it into their apps, and Steam is like investing into the projects, like full technology, VR. So I mean, at least they're taking it and building products, different
I just hate
products.
that in order to do
if
that,
they would put it in Half-Life 3, they would.
Oh
be
my
even
god. Oh man, if they build they're like just 1 year, they're like, okay, every month for that whole entire year, they're just gonna announce the third versions of games. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, Left 4 Dead 3 is coming out, and everyone's like,
maybe that's how you
what?
respond to it. Like Epic comes out with theirs, Discord comes out with theirs, and they go, oh, and by the way, exclusively on Steam, Half-Life 3. Have a nice day.
And then everybody forgets about Discord and Epics. They're like, what? I've never heard of those. I just want Steam.
All the stock doing this for both those companies goes.
Yep. That's how it would go. He's like, well, nobody wants to use those now.
Okay. Well, how about, since all of that stuff is really great, we talk about some more great stuff, which is our favorite things from this year, and I'm hurrying us along because we're at 50 minutes, everyone. So
I'm sorry.
I know.
It's the last year of the show.
I understand that. I just have, Bach is right. I have stuff that I have to get done today after the show, and we have all committed all day tomorrow to D&D, so I literally have no extra time to do it. So
yeah, I'm excited too, Baka. Woo!
Too funny.
I'm sorry if everybody thinks that I'm being a jerk about this for the last episode. I just have a lot of things to do. We
That's
started
nothing
late.
new.
We're at an hour already for the show. Let's go. Game of the
You
year.
could have started
everyone.
early.
We could have, but we didn't.
All right, so who wants to go first? I guess I'll go first. It's not necessary. I'll start because I
Well,
picked
yeah,
my
we made
5
a
games.
top 5 list. So if you want to do it in descending or ascending or however you
I'll
want to do it,
in,
Or we can do 5s all the way around or whatever.
Yeah, I guess we could do that.
sure.
I since last year I picked 5 games that I new games from that year. I did the same thing this year, like 5 games from this year that I picked. My number 5 is Detroit Become Human. I love that
That's
game.
number 5 for you?
It was a little
That's- I
short
thought
for
the
my
same thing.
taste, but it was number 5, and I mean it was one of those games that had to be on my list. First of all, I'm from Detroit, so I mean it's just incredible, but it was just a little short for my taste. But I mean, I guess that was the first David Cage game that I've played, so that might just be how his games are. But I thought it was
They are. They're usually
phenomenal.
pretty short.
Yeah, phenomenal. I loved it.
They could be a lot shorter.
That's number
depending on some
5.
of
The other
choices
games
you
better be
made.
like fucking amazing. If you got Detroit at number 5.
In my opinion, that one is my number 5.
Okay.
Okay.
The other ones have a special place in my heart.
Fair enough.
Oak, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Return of the Oberdin. I'm about halfway through it, and
Isn't it just Oberdin? You keep putting a "the" in there.
It's Return of the Oberdin.
Is it the?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think so.
I
Yeah,
thought
'cause
it was
it's
just
the name of the ship.
okay.
Yeah, it's Return of the Oberdin.
Okay, my bad. I guess I've just only heard it without the "the," and I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
keep
anyway,
going.
Return of the Oberdin. I'm about halfway through the game. I would probably have it higher up the list if I'd finished the game. When the game was first announced, it's by the same person that did Papers, Please. And when the game was first announced, I was interested in it, but I didn't know how this whole monochrome style of was going to work in a first-person view or anything like that. It's beautiful. The gameplay on it's beautiful. If you like detective games to where you're having to try to solve a mystery as you go through, I highly recommend. And it just bring a notepad because some of it does get a little. What important information was just given to me that I might have to use later, type thing, right?
Yeah, come with your own little pad.
Yeah. So
Hey, that would have been amazing if they would have sold that with the game too, like come with
Right?
your own little notepad.
an Oberdin pad.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but that was my number 5. Like I said, probably would be higher if I completed the game completely. But right now, that's definitely number 5.
Michael, what about you?
My number 5. Well, it's technically not from this year, but I did get it this year, which
That's
is Planet
fine.
Coaster.
Yeah.
It's fun. You played it. You got it. What was it?
Yeah, Planet Coaster.
Oh my God,
Oh,
so good,
that's a
so
good
good.
one.
You spent like 5 hours
the
putting
only
rocks down.
complaint I have is I cannot seem to build a roller coaster that people will
Me
get on.
too. I know your pain.
Supposedly the new whatever the new coaster game was, the park one,
Park Attack.
does give you the option to be able to, like some of the old tycoon games, and be able to kill things. So you're good.
Oh
Make it
yeah.
happen.
So when that
it's
goes,
called
I wasn't trying to kill anyone legitimately. Like they just don't want to get on the damn ride.
Well, at least they'll get on it. On this other one.
Yeah,
I know
force
how
them
you
on that
feel,
motherfucker.
Baga. I know how you feel. And I'm glad that you enjoyed it because it was a lot of fun to play that game.
What you got, Griff?
My number 5, part of the reason it is as far down on the list as it is because the DLC hurt me so bad. But it's Far Cry
Oh.
5 is my number 5. I enjoyed the core gameplay of it and the story, the plot line and everything. I thought it was fun and entertaining, and I will give bonus points to any game that will let me not only have a dog companion, but also a giant bear and a cougar. Like, just take my money, Ubisoft.
And the bear's
for
named
those.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah, cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, and he's got a cute collar on. Oh, adorable. I very much enjoyed the game itself. I mean, it's your standard Far Cry fare, but the DLC was just, they didn't even try in the DLC. Or at least the one that I played. I have 2 other parts of the DLC that I promise I will get to. I have not forgotten about it. I just am so disillusioned. But the game itself, Far Cry 5 proper, is good and worth picking up, especially since the sale's coming up. I'm sure it'll be on sale. But get you a cheeseburger. Do it.
Awesome.
Number 4.
Chicken.
My number 4.
Consult the list.
Warhammer Vermintide 2.
Wow, I thought that'd be higher too.
That was down low. I thought that was down low for you.
Number 4. I fucking love that game. I still play it, by the way. That game is a shitload of fun. There's no game that lets me hack and slash as good as that one does. And you just get a big old mallet and just hammer away at rats for a few hours. I absolutely love that game.
Friends.
Yes, with my friends. We all get to have hammers. Hammers for everybody. Smash all the rats. That game is awesome. I love the developers, Fat Shark. They're still supporting it. And their DLC is pretty cheap too. The game is cheap too. It's like $40 or $30, I think. And then they keep giving DLC. You got mods for it, all this stuff. So I mean, that's my number 4.
A nice developer.
Yes, good developer. I like them. Good shit.
I wonder if there's a mod to put the Left 4 Dead.
There probably
if there's
is.
not yet, there probably will
like
be.
That.
That'd be cool.
One of the mods that I absolutely love that I wish they would add to the fucking game is it's like a stats mod that like shows you full statistics for your character and everything, crit chance, health, everything, which is so nice.
That's
But
pretty
unfortunately, it's not part of the main game.
Will be for Vermintide 3.
In 2021, Vermintide 3. Yes.
My number 4 is Frostpunk. Frostpunk, I absolutely love the concept of living in this environment, post-apocalyptic environment, to where you're having to build a city and keep people alive, making moral decisions one direction or another. I love this War of Mine, which is the same developer, and it's just absolutely brilliant on how they've expanded upon that. I'm looking forward to whatever their 3rd game is. Hopefully it's not as depressing, but as these 2 were.
They only know sad.
Oh, but this War of Mine.
Because I really want that. Because I feel like the if I was working on this game, I would have to like take a long vacation to be
Why do you
happy.
think they're so long in betwing the games?
Right.
Yeah, because they have to take a vacation during the whole time.
Oh
They're like,
my
okay,
God.
guys, we're done.
But it's a brilliant game. Highly recommend it. And it was very, very moving, and I enjoyed it from that standpoint. But it is one of those games you have to kind of take a break, just like this War of Mine. But Frostpunk. What you got, Baca?
Mine's actually the same as Chicken's, Warhammer.
Damn!
Hell
I can't
yeah.
wait to see their top 3.
I know, right?
I think our top 3 might be pretty damn similar. Well,
We'll find out in the next few
Yes.
minutes. Did you have anything to add to his statements about it, Baca?
Not really. No. I mean, he pretty much went over everything. So
They're on the same page. Like, those 2 playing games together, it might as well be one person sometimes.
yeah, no shit. We have very similar taste in games.
yeah.
My number 4 would be higher. It's like Oaks. It would be higher on the list had I finished it yet, but I haven't. But I gave it so many brownie points just because of, I guess, the feats it accomplished for me personally. It made me play on the Switch, and it made me play a Pokemon game. Pokemon, let's go! I just beat the 3rd gem, like, this week, and it's the only time I played this week. But at the same time, like, every time I am playing it, I don't want to stop playing it. And then I put it
I
down
know
and I
that
have a bunch
fucking
of billion
feeling.
other things that I have to go do, but I want to play it all the time. I just haven't finished it yet. That's okay. It's fine.
It's okay. It's all right.
Check out what's your number 3.
My number 3, this one is more for how they have supported the game so well. And, I mean, I don't play it as much now, but I still absolutely love the game. Everybody knows what it is. Sea of Thieves is my number 3.
That's what I thought.
That game, like, I can't give enough love to Rare for what they have done with this thing. Like, they came out and it was like a puddle, how big it was. It was amazing. And they have put so much support into it. and there are no microtransactions in yet. It's like, just put them in. Let me give you more money because you are doing
Let Baco
what
buy a
developers
monkey.
should be doing.
Do you remember the rumor originally was 3 months in
Yes.
Microtransactions.
that there was going to be microtransactions? We've still not gotten them.
Yeah,
Baco
it's
is so
almost
upset
a year
about it.
out.
Look at him
It's like,
without his
holy
monkey.
shit,
I want
guys.
my monkey.
I know, it's like, just give us microtransactions so we can give you more money. You are doing what developers should be doing, making an incredible game. It was a solid foundation, and they have built mansions all across it. And they're still going, and they're building it for free. So, well, I mean, you know, aside from the $60 to get into the gate. But once you're in the community, you're free to kind of do whatever. You have access to everything, like everybody else. It's like, oh my God, you guys are just what everybody should be aspiring to do as a company. So much love to Rare and Sea of Thieves. I love it. You could just get in, play with your friends. It is a hell of a good time.
I agreed with that.
That's my number 3.
My number 3 is Vermintide 2.
Hey, I'm surprised it was higher up your list than theirs.
I was really surprised with theirs was 4, but I enjoy the game. I enjoyed more than anything the opportunity to spend it with my friends and be able to go through and destroy things. I enjoyed even more when we were being trolled by Griff to make the game harder in
That
every
was
way.
fine.
And then Chicken in his infinite wisdom's like, hey, let's put the game on the hardest thing possible and then also allow her to troll the shit out of us.
Yeah, that was fun. We barely made it out
We
of the
didn't make
first area.
it.
Yeah, a lot of
Couldn't
times
get
you didn't
anywhere.
make it.
Yeah, that was rough.
But you know, you live, you learn.
No,
But I
right.
do. But I also love the fact that Fat Shark goes. Not only are we going to make this to where Twitch users can do it, we're going to recognize another format, which is Mixer, to allow them to be able to do it. So they're supporting all gamers for the two more major ones. I don't know if they've added YouTube since then. Awesome sauce to that too. Please leave Facebook one out of this.
Yeah.
But the. But I really like what Fat Shark's doing. I'm going to continue to support this company just because they've created a good sound product. It's a cheap product. We put tons of hours into it, and I think it's just brilliant. And then everything Chicken said ahead of time. So awesome.
Baca. Where did you
Mine was kind of a tie. I couldn't decide between Sea of Thieves and Mario Odyssey because I finally got to play that this year.
Yay. So,
But
so
both of
yours
them
is
were really
both?
good, but fuck it. It's my list.
Is that your 2 and 3, or just tied for 3?
So 3, tied for 3.
Okay. Hey, that's fair. Those are 2 incredible
Sea
fucking
of Thieves
games.
didn't have a whole lot in the beginning, but it has gotten more through the year. And Mario Odyssey, I only got to play for a few days because I rented it from work for a little while. But it was still really good, and I really enjoyed it.
Cool. I'll give that
Yeah,
one to
definitely honorable mention that one too. I got to play it this year, and holy shit, ooh, that game.
It's awesome.
There's a
else.
lot of the moons you gotta find.
There's a reason I played it the
They're
entire
not
weekend
even-
off.
I don't know. I don't they turn into stars after at some point? I think.
There are some that are stars. Like I
In one world, there's stars.
think I got 400 moons, and then I stopped playing. I got to the darker side of the moon, and the castle, and I just started going through the worlds again and collecting all the different moons, and I got really fucking good at the double hat jump off. Like I got real fucking good with it. But damn,
You
that
guys
game
are
was
platformers.
incredible.
It's a great game. Great game. Good replayability on it too. But you know that's what we expect from a Mario game.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, you want to pick it up and play.
My number 3, I should have put a clarifier in number 4 with Pokemon Let's Go. It is the game that made me want to play the Switch by myself because we spent a lot of time on the Switch this year with me and Chicken and my sister playing my number 3 choice, which is Overcooked 2, because it's so fun. It's so fun. I need to get up with Red at some point and see how it works for online stuff, because it's just so funny to throw, like, I have people screaming, like, chop these carrots, throw this meat, throw the fish, put the fish, everything's burning. Somebody get that. I hate you, Kevin. Like, Just the
God damn it,
things
Kevin.
that you hear as you're playing this like super family friendly, nice cutesy little Nintendo. Well, it's not Nintendo. It's on all the platforms and everything. But we played it on Switch, so it's this family friendly, nice game that you're like ready. It's like Monopoly, I guess. How to make you hate your friends in 5 minutes. Play this.
Yes.
So it's like, I swear if you push me off this airship one more time, chicken, I swear. Like my sister, it's like, if you don't pick these things up when they're on fire, I will beat you. You make cakes in real life, make this cake. It was a lot of fun. I highly recommend it, by the way. So if it's on the Steam Winter Sale,
$25, people. Hell, buy it before it goes on sale because they deserve it.
buy it on Switch and I'll play it with you. Just saying. Anyway.
Number 2 for
I'll
you,
have to get it after the holidays.
My number 2, I think, is Griff's number 4. Pokemon Let's Go.
Yes.
That game, like...
You back again. It's your number 2, isn't it?
Yeah, yep.
Oh my god, I knew it. They're the same person.
Our number 1s are going to be different, I can guarantee that.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it's a more casual experience, but Pokemon Let's Go seriously took me back 20 years and let me relive what it was. Like, the music is the same. The emotions that were brought back was just incredible. I thought it was going to be too, the not actually battling for the catch the Pokemon, but I like it. I feel like it's fine. There's still plenty of battles, and they added endgame too. You can go and re-catch, or you can rebattle the gym leaders. You can catch shiny Pokemon now. Like, there's just so much more to do after you beat the Elite Four. So, I mean, to me, it's like reliving again, because I remember all those years ago when I was young and I was supposed to go to bed and I hid in the bathroom playing the game a few more hours when I was supposed to be in bed, and it's just very near and dear to my heart, and I love it.
I have to say, it's been one of my most favorite and cutest gaming experiences. Is like, I know that my sister's not a kid. My sister's 2 years younger than I am, so very much adult. But watching her come down and play this game with him, like the two of them together, you would swear if you were just listening to it that they were like two 10-year-olds being super excited about their first time through, because my sister's never done Pokemon pretty much at all. Like, she plays Pokemon Go on her phone, and then he's a lifelong Pokemon fan, so the two of them together is just like two little kids experiencing it for the very first time. It is adorable.
I'm kind of sad. Like, that game originally was my number 5 until I played Return to the Oberdin. Started in there, so it did slip down to my number 6, but it was because of the same experience that you couldn't put the game down. You had fun, enjoyable with it, and very similar to Griff's sister was the fact that I was not a lifelong Pokemon fan. I played Pokemon Go because, I'm a nerd, and I played Pokemon Go and walked around and had a good time with it, and it was like, okay, I want to play it, to the point to where within a day I was already buying the Eevee copy for my daughter, so she could have that same experience and hopefully be a lifetime Pokemon fan, similar to Chicken. So pretty awesome though. Great game.
I bet you've showed it to your nephews. I bet that's part of why it's your number 2, is because you've had fun with them.
Yeah, and I bought my nephew his copy of Eevee with the
Y'all just want to be able to have somebody to trade with that's reliable,
What?
Red.
Baka, I'm going to go ahead and need you to catch me a bunch of Pokemon, because Red is unreliable.
That's fine. When he gets to that point, I'll have a list and go, okay, I need like six copies of these Pokemon.
Hey, we will do it for you.
Yes, please, and thank you. I appreciate it.
Too funny. So you two have already done your number 2. I'll do mine. Surprisingly, my number 2 is actually Sea of Thieves, not my number 1. My number 1.
Oh shit.
I put it down just because number 1 to me
Is a different level.
It's a better game overall, and different experience. Sea of Thieves, of course, I've spent many an hour in it. I enjoyed the fact that, as Chicken talked about earlier, the fact that they've continued to expand on the game and they've created new ways to play the game. With each one of their updates, they've added something new to it, and they keep it in the damn game, which I love. They've listened to the people that have been playing the game and said, look, we need with these bilge rats, the blooms and stuff like that from them. We need an opportunity to be able to still earn those. Do we need to? So they've revamped that. They've made it to where, because they've had so many expansions, they changed how the bilge rat menu works. Just little bitty things like that, and adding the ghost ships and making it to where that was more difficult. The fog, the way that it works, just the Kraken now spawns on anything. It doesn't matter what it is, and it happens a lot. It's just different things like that I think are cool. And then now reaching Legend, I didn't realize because I never clicked on the Athena thing before. You got a bunch of stuff to earn as a Legend that is down in the bottom part of it in order to be able to unlock stuff. So I thought that was pretty awesome. It's just a really, really fun, cool game. Adding alliances at one point was pretty awesome, and then playing with friends I think was even more fun. Starting off with y'all, expanding out to my community as well, playing with No Pants and Lissa Ballistic, a bunch of other people. It made the game for me. But it's a number 2 because I think number 1 to me is at a different level, and I'll explain to that when we get there.
Okay. Then that leaves you, Griff, for your number 2?
Yes.
Because Baka already went for his.
I know, you guys went together because you're the same person sometimes.
Sometimes.
My number
Till we
2
get to number 1.
was further down on Chicken's list, but it's Detroit. I was really impressed with what you could do with it, especially the replayable parts of it. Like, the fact that you want to be like, because my run, I did a blind run, it's up on YouTube, that's my very first run, and I had a character that died kind of early because I messed up, and I couldn't not do it again. Like, I've played that game subsequently like 4 times since then, even though I have like little to no time. I just want to see what happens when you try other things, and I enjoy the development enough to replay it a lot. Like, it's got flaws in it for sure. It's not perfect, but it feels good to go through it in a lot of ways and see a lot of the development and growth that you get, and just how pretty it is too. I mean, David Cage makes some pretty games as far as the way that he animates people and the shots that they choose to take and things like that. It's very, very nice. So I liked it. You're right, it is a little short, but it was okay. It was an enjoyable experience. I felt like I got my money out of it. All right, number 1, Chicken.
All right, my number 1 is not necessarily the game of the year. It was a game that I was looking forward to that broke my heart when the company went down, and then it was revived and it had a new lease on life, and it's Darksiders 3.
Yay.
I know the game is not perfect. I understand that. It's different than the other ones, and the developers it's been less than a month and they've put 2 patches and are basically trying to re-envision the game so that it's more accessible to people who want to play it differently.
Yes.
Like the first patch made it a little easier. They added more checkpoints. They made it so that you can refill your health potions. They made it so that, and then they added the second patch. They added a classic mode into which it doesn't take any time to drink potions. They made it easier.
They took it from Dark Souls and turned it back into Darksiders with that one.
Yes, because it's like, okay, our audience really wants it to the way it was, so we're like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and try to change it around so that it's more accessible to people. And I'm like, I love it, because when I first came to it, I was like, I hope they're gonna patch it at least once, and then I'll commit to buying the DLC. And they've already patched it twice. Like, these guys,
they're patching it with things that they have heard the community talk about. It's not just like arbitrarily throwing some stuff and seeing if anything sticks. These are things that the community has said to us, and we have taken that to heart to do what you want with this.
And that gives me so much hope for THQ Nordic. Like, I was afraid they were going to be one and dones where they just drop the game and then they're moving on. But no, these guys are doing it. They're like Rare. They're like, okay, we hear you. We're doing it. We're changing it. We're fixing it. And when Darksiders 2 came out and then THQ died, and then it was like, half of this series it's not enough for me, because Darksiders was amazing. Darksiders 2 was amazing. And then Darksiders 3 gets revived and brought back to life. It's like, oh, yes. I've been waiting for this for so long, and I am so happy that it came out. And the story in it, even the people that don't recommend the game can say that the story is just amazing. Like, it's good. And I love it. Fury is amazing. She is a badass bitch sometimes. You'll have to play the game to find out. But that is my number 1. Very, It took a lot.
If we had to do a company of the year, I would put THQ Nordic at the top.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Everything they've purchased, everything that they're trying to do, revive everything else. We got Metro that's coming out this next year.
Yep.
Near the beginning of the year, so it's going to be. I mean, hands down, I give them. They're my company of the year, whether it's a publisher or a developer, definitely.
Yeah, because they're not looking to be AAA. They're looking to become a game company for the people, and I love that about them. They're like I said, they're a lot like Rare, where they're like, we're just gonna make good products.
Well, that'll eventually make them a AAA company, though.
Hopefully,
but
they
I hope
stay
yes,
true to themselves.
Hopefully, they don't let it. They don't build up too high. They just kind of build out and kind of expand their horizon. So
I got a question. Goes kind of along with the first thing we said. If they came out with their own client and removed everything from everywhere else,
yes,
okay,
I would install their client and I would support them.
I don't even know why you had to ask.
I know. I just thought I would ask.
Yeah, I would support them. I have a lot.
I feel like
faith.
they would build it the right way too.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I got a lot of love for them. Good luck.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't buy Curse.
Yeah, no shit.
They bought everything else this year.
Oak, what's your number one?
My number one is actually Detroit.
Really? I'm like legit surprised that number one and number two weren't the opposite for you.
Yeah, number one was Detroit because it hit me on a new level. I put a lot of hours in Sea of Thieves and things like that, but other than the Hungering Deep, there's not really been a plot line to go with. You had a little bit when you were dealing with the cursed cells, but I just there's something about Detroit that hits you on a new level. I love the replayability of it, even though I have not gone back through to change some of my stuff.
You should. I know what happened.
Yeah, I know. But I was happy with my playthrough, even though I lost people I didn't want to lose, and made decisions that I regret. It is one of those where it's like that to me. That's life, right? You go through,
Yep.
you make certain decisions, and the soundtrack helped make that. I'm a music guy.
Oh, it's so good.
And there's one part where when you've got all of these people that, and I say people, but they're the AIs, right, that are in the middle, and they're being surrounded by the regular humans, and there's this battle going on, and you have this whole speech going on, and the music behind the speech that happens is just, I'm like tears. The game makes you want to cry. It makes you want to laugh. There's just so much to this game, and I absolutely loved it. And it hit me on a new level. Sea of Thieves, like I said, I loved, and it was very, very close. I decided whether to flip one direction or the other, but Detroit, just alone, the way that the game is built, pushed it above Sea of Thieves for me. So that was my number one.
I agree. Baka, what about you?
So Smash Brothers.
I knew it. I knew
Yep.
it. I figured be further down on the list, just like negative points off because Yoshi, but no.
No, that
Not
was-
even Yoshi could destroy that.
Well, that was a one-time thing. Other than that, I've been wrecking pace most of the time.
Of course you are.
Except for the one time when you messed up in front of your audience.
Well, to be fair, it was to unlock Ganondorf, and I don't really care for him anyway. So, but I got Ridley. Ridley, I'm gonna have to practice more with. I think I've unlocked Ness, Zelda, Bayonetta, and several other ones. Ice Climbers I got. I'm working on trying to get the Belmonts right now.
He's gonna have everybody unlocked by the end of the year. Like hands down, he will be doing nothing else but working and
I
unlocking.
think I've gotten like 12, 13 characters are already unlocked in the span of like a few days.
That's awesome.
Now compete with Red. Go.
And yeah, he had a jump start on me, so he's had it longer.
So it's all his fault if you catch up.
Yep.
Nice.
What about you, Gro?
My number one should be a surprise to literally no one. I've only been playing it for like a month solid, and I cannot.
And you're the only person that's played it.
Chicken will get to play it as soon as I'm done, which
Eventually.
is like never. So whatever. But I was on the fence about it initially. I'm so glad that I decided to try it out and that it came so quickly too. But it's
Yeah, no
Red Dead
shit.
Redemption 2. It just
Never heard of it.
so good. So good. I feel like, and I've seen a lot of reviews for it where some trendy, edgy reviewers are like, I appreciate that it's pretty, but it's too pretty. It's almost like, I get that you're a reviewer, but it's almost like you're asking them to review games as they sprint, or review art as they sprint through an art gallery. And they're like, yeah, that's a nice painting. Yeah, that's a nice painting. That's probably art. Yeah, okay. And we're done. I liked it, but it was just okay. Like, no. Appreciate this for what it is. And I get that you don't do that with every game, because people don't have time for that with every game. A lot of games you just want to be like, here's my objective, here's how I'm going to accomplish that objective, I'm done, next. With this game, it's like, okay, here's my objective, here are all of the ways that I might accomplish doing these things, and along the way I'm going to look at literally every rock on the road because they're pretty. Like,
being this far in, does it make you want to go back and revisit
Red Dead 2 or Red Dead 1 is already on the way from GameFly.
Okay.
So that I can play that.
Because I knew you tried it before, wasn't really your thing,
well,
and
I think part of
that's
it
why
was,
you couldn't hear about 2.
Part of it was how I was trying it before, because Chicken and I were co-oping it essentially for a Let's Play, and sometimes it's hard when you're putting something on display the first time you're playing it that you don't attach as much as you could, or don't take it in as well as you could, because you're trying to offer running commentary as you go. Which I'm not saying that's a bad way to experience a game. That's what I did with Detroit. But it's also harder to jump into it when you're having to share back and forth, because you don't get to immerse as this character. You're a person playing it, very obviously. So I think that will be a little different. Plus, I'll have some backstory on the main character already, so I'm already attached to him. So I'm looking forward to it. But Red Dead is so good. Take your time with that game. Go and look at stuff and do things and experience. Don't just be like, okay, I need to go to the next quest.
It's a
I'm
piece
gonna
of art
go
that
look
needs
for
to be
Sasquatch.
admired.
I don't think there is a Sasquatch in this one yet. I
There
did
might
watch
And
a
I'll be looking
bear.
for a long time.
I did watch a bear get cornered by a pack of wolves, though, and then I had to leave because I was freezing to death. But I didn't see how it played out. But I got to watch it for a little while, and I think the bear was gonna win. I'm just saying. I realized that there were 6 wolves, and they were on like a frozen lake, but I think the bear was gonna win.
You're just hoping for Cheeseburger to win out.
I wanted to watch it. I wanted to stay there and watch, but I was freezing to death, and I was still pretty far out from the warm area, and I didn't have warm clothes on my horse. I made a mistake. It was my fault. I guess I could have set up a camp. Well, I wonder if I set up a campfire if they would have looked at me, though. There's no way I could have beat 6 wolves in that state.
I got a question for everyone that's here. Is there an honorable mention that you have that has not been mentioned by somebody else that's part of their list?
Hunt Showdown.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
That game is crazy good. It is extremely intense. I mean, because you don't know, it doesn't give you any indication. You're dropped either by yourself or with your partner, and then that's it. That's all you get. You don't know if there's anybody left alive. You don't know where anybody is. The fucking monsters are horrifying. I mean, it's just like, well, shit. The game is good. They're supporting it extremely heavily, and they're working on their 3rd monster now.
That's awesome.
I hate the friggin' butcher thing.
Oh,
The Butcher.
the fucking butcher, man.
The last time we played it, Chicken yelled run, and I got pinned in the corner and just pummeled to death.
Yep.
Mine probably would have been a game that wasn't new this year, but I finally got to spend some real time and finish it, and would have been Divinity 2. That was fantastic start to finish.
Oh.
Like, if you were looking for a PC RPG game, buy it. Do
It
it.
is
I
the
don't
one.
care if you buy it on sale or not. Spend full price.
It's on
I
console
mean,
now too, isn't it?
I think
I know
so.
the first
so.
one is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Larian Studios, just give them your money. Do it. You will not regret it. Unless you hate RPGs, in which case, what are you doing anyway? But
Right.
Yeah.
You used to hate RPGs.
Yeah, this is the lady who didn't play RPGs.
hey, if you hate RPGs and you want to slide into an RPG light, I would say start something like Dragon Age Inquisition, because it is RPG light, and you get used to how RPGs work, and then you can go from there.
Mine was probably Vampire, which
Still waiting on
is
that one.
Vampire is I like the way that they designed the game. I like the moral choices that you had to make, and the concept of being a vampire and a doctor I thought was quite interesting. so you had those moral decisions that you could make, fighting the bloodthirst versus saving human, that whole human vampire aspect of it, and then decisions that you made in the world changed how people felt about you, as well as how the plot line would go. So I really, really liked that game. It's very in depth, and spent a lot of time in it. And the combat system was pretty good too. Once you started building your vampire skills up to be able to go one way or the other, it's really, really well done. And so that would have been my honorable mention for sure.
Nice. Oh, you mentioned the how the moral side of things works, and you'd mentioned that for Detroit too. Red Dead has that same deal but it forces you into the mindset which you guys have that's life, and you don't know whether or not you're making the right call until afterwards. And I like games that let me reset and redo. Red Dead does not have that option, because your autosave previous to whatever bad things just happened may have been like hours ago. Well, usually autosaves won't be hours ago, but it'll be back far enough that you're like, oh, but I don't want to reset just for that.
Do you have manual saves?
Yeah, you can manual save before you do stuff, but sometimes you don't realize what you're doing will affect your moral status until afterwards.
Every 5 minutes, I'm just gonna manually save.
I ran into an encounter earlier
reload.
today that was one of those things where it's like, okay, both of these things are not really great, and I made a choice on it, but I didn't have a whole lot of information about the choice, because you don't get that, and it was a negative thing, and I got negative points for it. I was like, how is that? But I didn't know.
All I'm saying is that when I've played games like that before, and I've given up hours of progress to go back and restart it again. It's like, I will do that shit again.
Well,
I will spend the next 4 hours redoing it.
Like, I got negative points for it, so it means I'm basically going to have to spend half an hour wandering through a random town waving at people, because you get positive points for that. So I know how to balance
you do
it
for
out,
doing chores too, though, don't you?
I am at a point in the game where I do not have access to chores, actually.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, but I always have access to waving at people and being friendly.
You could always go to a prison and wave at people, evidently.
No.
Not a good idea.
No. I told
Pull your shotgun out accidentally.
Told Chicken that story earlier. We'll not talk about that on the show.
Oh, my God. All right. Anything else anybody wants to talk about?
I know it's been a really long show. I'm sorry, everyone.
It's the end of the year.
Yeah,
it's the last show.
They can listen to half
but
of the
I'm also
show,
gonna say
and then next week listen to the other half.
That's true. I'm also going to say this, though, because I know this is going to get into a little bit of an aside, maybe. But I'm still doing Uncharted, and I'm going to try to finish it. Just holidays are happening soon. So I'm going to record today, and then I will try to record next week. And I don't know how the schedule is going to go, but I will have all of Uncharted 4 up at some point. I promise. It's coming. We will see Nathan to the end of this lifelong story. So that's been a lot of fun. That should be on everybody's lists of great games is the Uncharted series.
Yeah.
I need you to do that side story that they did at some point.
Lost Legacy?
Yeah.
Lost Legacy took me, I think, 6 hours to play through.
That's why I've been waiting to find Lost Legacy is on sale, is because I just don't want to commit to the price for as short as it is.
It's basically one map with a bunch of puzzles, the way it's designed, but it's fun, entertaining. The conversation going back and forth between your characters is amazing, and then their comments about Nathan are even more funny, because two women talking about Nathan is hilarious. So
that's on my YouTube, and I'm almost to 50 subscribers, so if you have not subbed yet and you could find like 5 seconds to push a button for me, that would be amazing. I know 50 is not a huge milestone. I don't get my custom URL until 100, but 50 is just a big deal to me personally. So
yeah. You're at what again?
I'm at like 39, I think. So I need 11.
You're at 39. So I'll be blasting the crap out of that on my Twitter.
Thank you.
I'll do what I got to do. Get you to where you need to be.
Okay, let's get out of here so I can go record some Uncharted.
We do appreciate everybody who hangs out with us each and every week in Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDB Oaktree. Check out Griff.
At Griff Slanum.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
At Baka Pickle.
Make sure that you go to Griff's YouTube channel, where she's currently playing through Uncharted 4. And as she said, watch around the holidays. It might be a little less sent out, but she'll get it done for you and take care of so you can finish up. But it's a good way to go back to her past material and move through the entire thing.
Binge
You got
watch.
plenty of time. Binge watch.
I need
Plenty of time.
to do that to get a tally for the Uncharted stuff. Actually,
Oh yeah, that's right. You got all
Thanks,
the deaths.
Baga.
moving kind of sidetracked that. So
Well, but the good thing about it is when we get back from the holidays for our first episode of the year, you can have that done, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I will get to remind everybody because that first show of the year should coincide with AGDQ week.
Yay.
So I will remind everybody to watch it because I will be hosting it all week.
Also, make sure that you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313 so you can watch Chicken. His schedule has changed a little bit. He's doing some afternoon streams, so make sure that you check him out on Twitter.
He hasn't decided on his holiday schedule yet either.
Yes, but I know the week after the holidays I will be doing speedrunning again in advance for AGDQ. I will be getting on the Diablo 2 leaderboard this time.
Ooh, nice.
So,
that ought to be
keep an eye
fun to
out.
watch.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend that to anybody that's currently listening or watching. Watch him do it. It's great, and it's cool to watch the little tricks that are used. That's what I think is neat. And then what we ran into last time when he was going through the Resident Evil one was that somebody actually came in that was a speedrunner to help him get past a certain point that he was having a hard time. It was really, really neat.
Yes, he helped teach me one of the tricks, the I forgot what it was called, the dash, so that I could run faster.
Yeah, and so and then he taught him a certain way to skip through a certain part, and so it was really, really neat to see how that works. And it's all based on whatever version you're using and all this other stuff. It's really neat. So that's pretty awesome. So highly recommend that one. Also, make sure to go to mixer.com/MDBOaktree. I pretty much don't know when I'm streaming. I stream pretty much every night. So, but make sure that you watch that as well. And everybody have a great Christmas.
Yes,
or
happy holidays, everyone. Whatever you celebrate.
Fantastic New Year. We look forward to seeing you in the new year. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Chicken.
I'm Baca.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.